Hello. This episode of Cinema Swirl was brought to you with the support of our backers at Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/cinemaswirl to find out how you can support the show and get some exclusive bonus content. Right, let's get swirling.
Cinema Swirl! Don't be storing that in brine. It's episode number 49. Freshwater, tomato sauce, all of course, viable options for your mackerel or sardine fillets. Hello everyone once again. It's me, your old pal, Cowboy Kevin, dancing alongside Sam Chaplin. Hello.
Hello, it's lovely to be dancing alongside you.
Dancing. Come dance with me through Hollywood, Sam, as we open up doors of rooms of movies you've not yet seen.
Whee!
And yeah, you probably should have seen some of them by now, and we're doing that because that's what this podcast is all about. We are approaching a very, very big round number, aren't we? Mm-hmm. That's 50.
Oh, Kevin, it's a multiple of 5 and of 10. And
what?
It's 10 times 5.
That is pretty much the most lucky number I could think of.
I can't wait.
In the game of 25, the card game of 25 is the number where you want to be. But I'm assuming 50, that's like winning 25 twice.
Yeah.
And that's like, you don't get much bigger than that. Like,
no, double bubble, baby.
21? No, mate. 42. That's what I'm all about. I'm at double wins. All right? Give me my winnings. Sam, today we're talking about one of the most iconic movies of many a childhood.
Yeah.
If you're born in the late 80s or early 90s, we are, of course, talking today about the Will Smith alien invasion, Jeff Goldblum fawning material known as Independence Day.
And it is still, I think, at time of release, July, so we're in the correct month for that. So that's good.
I was just looking at the calendar there going, that's going to be a tight turnaround in the Edish now, so it is.
to release that in the past. That would be...
Yeah, I mean, come on. Sam, how did you celebrate your Independence Day?
Well, every day for me is Independence Day, because I'm a independent guy. Just living
I thought you were saying, because I'm British.
No, Kevin, I was going to say that, and then I realised how confrontational it would have sounded from me, an actual British person, to be like, I've been independent the whole time, mate. It would be awful. So I'm glad I didn't do that.
For me, as an Irishman, it's the month of Easter is my Independence Day. Where we celebrate escaping from the hated British and also simultaneously the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ by eating round eggs in his honour.
Again, double bubble type situation. Like, you know, you're getting more bang for your buck with your holidays.
I know, it is. I'm glad that Ireland was like, you know what? The independence, can we tie this into a major holiday so we can kind of, have a few days off either side of it? Yeah, no, that sounds all right. Yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So, Sam, we're talking about Independence Day.
Yeah.
And that means there's a lot of very big names associated with this.
Sure.
Hotshot Hollywood bigwigs rolling down the line in their Hollywood hogwash-powered automobiles. But we're going to first look instead at the mailbag.
Welcome to the mailbag. We're in the mailbag. Yo.
Do you come with the mailbag?
Hey, thank you. No.
That would be really funny if that was how the line The Simpsons went, like, do you come with the car?
It's the Heatwave special.
Oh, it's fucking hot today, folks.
Oh, it's boiling. At time of record and probably release and maybe our future on this planet.
Right, I know, Sam, from doing this podcast that you and I are already going to hell, where we'll probably have to podcast forever about movies we're not particularly interested in, as our fitting and an ironic punishment. Great sense of irony, the devil.
And everyone else will have to listen to that. And that's an
that's
in a lower rung of hell.
I think we say in a lower quality of audio, like, Seventh Circle of Hell. Welcome to MP2, motherfuckers. What is this crackling distortion? It's two bored men talking about Pearl Harbor. But I'm going to say on record, before we get into your... Now, we're used to your flaming hot takes in the mailbag.
Oh, yeah.
But legitimately, the mailbag is now a fire hazard because this is just a big bag of kindling on what is no doubt the hottest circumstances I have ever podcasted under.
Yeah, this is unbearably warm at the moment. And I'm sure we've got listeners in hot climates and, oh, it's really hot. Well, it's very hot here as well, thank you very much, relative to what we're used to.
But you know what's going to happen then, Sam, right? We'll be laughing when they get that real mad overcast wave. And they're like, oh, this is really hard. It's so overcast.
Oh,
and
what are you complaining about?
What are you complaining about? Oh, do you feel listless, do you? Because it's overcast. Get in fucking line, mate. Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll talk to you about fucking overcast. I didn't see the sun for a whole year when I lived in Glasgow. A whole year!
Welcome to the mailbag, everyone.
You're in the mailbag.
It's hot in here.
So open up all your mail. It is so hot, I will get my mail on.
This first question comes in to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.hot.
This is from Logan Niedermeyer, I think. Logan writes...
What, you think that's his name, or you think he sent it?
I think... I think that's the pronunciation of the surname. I'm not sure. Apologies,
Gotcha.
Logan, depending on whether I got it right or wrong.
Sam, I'm just going to apologise on your behalf as well. Logan, I don't know what was going on there. You know, I really don't.
Absolute shambles. Logan, it's hot. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly.
Logan writes, hello, gentlemen. Are there any movies you refuse to watch for the podcast? Maybe they have an actor that turned out to be a wrong'un. Or maybe you feel the movie has been covered to death. Thanks for the great content on this pod and over on Cinema Swirl. Logan.
Right, now, I would say I don't expect us to be doing any kind of, like, noted wrongin' in the news vote special. It has tied the hands a little bit, because it used to be like, pick an actor, boom. I'm glad we never went with the Kevin Spacey vote special that was floated here.
I think we may have talked about it, or at least we talked about some of his films doing them, because there are some classics in there.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if we were to discard every movie that Harvey Weinstein has done, that would definitely reduce the...
Takes it down a bit, yeah.
You know.
We wouldn't have been able to do Dogma.
No.
Or Jersey Girl.
Yeah, Jersey Girl. We're missing out real hard there.
So, big shout out to Harvey for making
Big shout out to all the wrong'uns there. Fucking hell. Well, I mean... Like, I'm not going to be doing Moonwalker anytime soon, for instance, you know? Like, there's a lot... Like, I think, as with most things, it's probably more of a case of the judging the public moods, and we tend to try and circumnavigate this podcast away from the choppy waters of where right now, at this exact moment in 2019, where you're probably scoffing at us from the future in 2020. Like, this isn't a current events show. So if it's something that's very much in the public eye or in the public moment, we're not going to have the big fucking Kevin Spacey chat while his trial's still going on, for instance. No. So we just try. I think that has made us, not like we've not had a chat about it or anything, but I think subconsciously we've maybe not, you know.
We've steered clear of some of that. It's one of those things where, like, we don't want to deliberately court controversy.
No.
But at the same time, I don't think we want to avoid things do you know what I mean? It's like we're not
being outright about anything, I don't think.
Yeah, we're not, like, ruling most stuff out, but we don't really want to dive into it deliberately to cause a fuss.
For instance, you at home, you going to watch Baby Driver again?
Oh, Kevin.
Huh? You seen it the once now in the cinema, haven't you, like me? And now you're thinking, oh, the rewatch. Oh, Edgar Wright, but...
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's a good film. I don't know if I've told you about this or told the Cinema Swirl audience about this. When I worked at a cinema, I took home one of the... You'd call it a standee, like a big cardboard... thing, like a display, because we never used them at our cinema, but they kept being delivered to us, and I was like, I'm going to get the Baby Driver one, because I can tell that this film is going to be iconic, so I'm going to bring this home, and I'm going to keep it in its box, and that's going to be worth a fucking fortune one day. And oh boy, has its value depleted over time.
I mean, there's ones, like, what you think about, like, I don't think we've ever consciously said to each other, never going to do a Mel Gibson swirl. You know, even though there's a lot of Mel Gibson movies that are probably on that list, I think it's important for you to probably see something like Lethal Weapon or Braveheart or whatever it is eventually. But that being said, that wouldn't make me say you're never going to get to see those movies, Sam. But if you expect us to do that movie and not have a bit of a pop at him and a go at him, and also to have a bit of a chat about it at some point, that is probably going to happen.
I mean, we've had a pop at people for a lot less than what Mel Gibson did. So
yeah, I know, right?
If we didn't have a pop, it would seem like kind of a bit weird.
A bit very strange. In terms of like doing movies which you think have been overdone, I mean, I guess the whole nature of this podcast is that it's not overdone for you because you've not seen them.
Yeah.
If no one wants to hear two people who've already seen Star Wars talk about Star Wars.
Whoa, Kevin.
Whoa. Or new podcasts where we just watch Star Wars again.
Because that's most of the podcast marketplace.
That is actually it. You're right. I've cornered myself here in the market. But I will tell you right now, and this is behind the scenes.
Oh.
When we started our Patreon page, I did have for the first time ever when recording Cinema Swirl, I had a little bit of like a little bit of a panic.
Okay.
Like, what am I going to say? And that was when we did The Room. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to say anything about The Room in 2019 that hasn't been said?
Oh, yeah, right. I see what you're saying.
A bajillion times. With that being said, I think that trepidation just led us down different avenues, and we ended up having a lot of fun anyway.
It's a really fun episode, yeah.
It's actually probably is my favourite episode of Cinema Swirl so far, where Sam and I review dirty bad movies over on our Patreon.com/. That's patreon.com/Cinema Swirl.
It's a secret.
But yeah, very interesting question. I would say that we are both probably like, I think we both trust each other's judgment, I think, in that relation. Yeah, probably don't know if the Mel Gibson Swirl will be coming out anytime soon.
No.
Hollywood may have forgiven him, but we never will.
We'll see what happens. We've got plenty of time, you know.
There's plenty of other movies. That's the thing. If there was like, oh shit, if we don't do a movie with Kevin Spacey in it, there's nothing to do. There's loads of movies. Thankfully, Sam has seen literally fuck all, and that makes it very easy.
We're not running out. Let me tell you that up front.
Let me tell you.
Okay, next question comes in to facebook.com/cinemaswirl.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.hot.
And that's from Ryan Marks, who asks, I can't be certain. I can, Ryan. That's me. But I'm pretty sure you haven't done a kung fu film yet.
Oh.
Ryan goes on to say, Drunken Master 2 might be fun, or go big with Crouching Tiger. I've heard of that.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that would definitely be a swirl for the ages, because anytime we go resolutely outside of our comfort zone, the fun is always had. Like, as much as we would like, I'm sure, just to do Arnie movies and action adventure movies. Thanks for listening to Independence Day, by the way, folks. Those of you who opt to not listen to our episodes where there are not explosions, we welcome you here. The broader church as normal, like.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I feel like the priests looking out at Mass on Easter. Oh, there's not many faces I've been shoving holy Jesuses into their mouth now that I'd normally be seeing here now. Where were you for Mean Girls? But yeah, Crouching Tiger would be fun. I'm not going to lie, I'm not very well versed in the world of kung fu movies.
I would have thought you might have been. I don't know where I've got that from, but I thought you might have been a martial arts movie guy.
My love of martial arts movies probably extends more into the cheesy martial arts movies and blaxploitation attempts at martial art movies and parody of said movies, like Dolomite and Black Dynamite. So I don't know if... Yeah, well, this is anytime there's guys throwing karate chops, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's a kung fu movie right there, baby. You know?
Yeah.
One to consider.
One final thing on Facebook. Ali Redmond says, can you do A Star is Born, please? No, I don't think we can.
I've not seen it.
You've not seen it? There's three of them.
I've not seen any of the iterations.
The only thing I thought would be funny to do a vote between the three different versions of A Star is Born, but because Kevin hasn't seen them, it ain't happening. So
yeah, have you seen them?
No.
Well, there we go. No reverse swirl.
But what I have seen is an advert on YouTube with two people singing karaoke to each other, and one of them's like, "I'm better, girl. Are you happy in this modern world?" And it turns out that's from A Star is Born. So
really?
I have seen that advert for an app.
I will say, I may watch it at some point in the future, as it's a musical, and I'm known to. Yeah. But if you are someone who's clamouring for more musical episodes, much like Or Grease, which was a lot of fun to do, I'll tell you right now, something for nothing. I think some tacky Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff could go well on the swill. Similarly, I would be very, delighted to chat about Les Mis with Sam here on Cinema Swirl. If you want that to happen, let your voices know.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. Not Les Mis. All right, that'll do it for the mailbag. It's too hot. Going to close up the mailbag. Thank you for all your questions. If you've got any more, send them in to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
Unfortunately, all of the questions have gone see-through from me sweating through them at the moment, so thanks very much, letters.
Thank you. Or just pop them on the socials if you want to
on the socials,
engage on the socials.
At Cinema Swirl on the Twitter as well, folks. Don't forget.
Don't forget that.
Sam, we're talking about Independence Day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with the big boys straight away.
All right.
We saw him on such great films such as Suicide Squad and Jersey Girl. That's literally a spoiler for Jersey Girl. And if that doesn't sell you on Jersey Girl, you're never going to watch it. Yes, Will Smith shows up in Jersey Girl. So your familiarity with the man himself.
He's already a Swirl favourite, but is he a Swirl favourite?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
What are your experiences with Will Smith?
I feel like I've seen a bunch of Will Smith stuff. I've watched The Fresh Prince a lot.
Oh.
Maybe not a lot, but a bit.
I mean, to the point where if you saw Jazzy Jeff, would you expect him to be thrown out?
Yeah.
You can always tell because he was wearing the clothes from the stock footage where he gets thrown out. And that's if he's like, oh, you're wearing those. Those are the clothes that enrage Uncle Phil, that make him enact physical violence on you, Jazzy Jeff.
I know him from that. I know him from Men in Black. I've seen one of the Men in Blacks. I think it was 2. I think it was the one with Johnny Knoxville in it.
Wait, so you've not seen Men in Black 1?
I'm not sure. I think maybe I have. Maybe I have. I think I have.
Okay. Was Johnny Knoxville in it?
No.
Okay, then you've probably not seen...
I might have seen the first 2 Men in Black.
Was it in 3D?
No.
Okay. No. Was there a lady who ate a man and gave a whole generation of people a vor fetish? Because apparently that's... Don't fucking at me, that's not me, alright? But just... Did that happen in your one you saw?
Maybe.
Did the lady eat a man?
I can't remember. And that's the problem with me generally. Even if I have seen some films, I can't fucking remember it. So...
Did you see the lady eat a man? Eat a man. Never known you seen it.
But Will Smith sings the Men in Black song.
Here come the Men in Black. I
know him from Welcome to Miami. I know him from iRobot. I really liked iRobot back in the day.
Welcome to Miami. What's Welcome to Miami?
It's a song by Will Smith.
Miami.
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 There he is, Will Smith. Turn that radio down, Kevin. Oh.
Sorry. Sam, did you ever... Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room. Sorry, I'm not finished. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room.
Was that not Ant and Dec? No, that was Watch Us Wreck the Mic, Watch Us Wreck the Mic, Watch Us Wreck the Mic. Psych. Let's get ready.
Let's get ready. Let's get ready to shake, shake, shake the room.
So Will Smith was shaking the room.
He was shaking the room.
He was the room shaker. Jeez. So, in terms of films, Shark Tale. Seen that?
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was on Shark Tank. And I'm like, promoting what?
Ashton Kutcher is, though. Shark Tale, iRobot. I've seen Hancock.
Jeez, you've seen some fucking fierce shite.
I feel like I've seen some other Will Smith films. He's a ubiquitous star. I think for a long time he was one of these...
Did you see Hitch?
No, I didn't see Hitch.
He was one of those people who... I think Jude Law falls into this category. And it's so weird to say because Jude Law, is not this guy at all anymore. But I felt there was a period of 5-6 years where it's he's in at least 2 to 3 movies in the cinema. You know, he's in the blockbuster and his passion piece that are on at the same time in the cinema.
Yes, Will Smith is still that, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will be in the movie, the big blockbuster, then the passion project to try and get him an Oscar, and then the one with his weird kid in it that's we'll just pretend this is real life then. Yeah? You're in space, Jaden. You're in space, okay? Do you love me now?
As you can tell from some of this, there are some real shit Will Smith films as well, which means we'll be doing a spin-off, Smith's Will.
When we try to align the swill and the swirl when possible, to make swirl, that is what we'll be attempting to do in this case. But yeah, the man does not necessarily dictate that there is quality in the movie they're in.
But he's a bankable star.
He is. He's got star quality.
Absolutely, 100%. So I'm familiar with Will Smith. I know his stuff. I know he's a YouTube celebrity as well.
What?
He's got a channel. He's a vlogger.
Has he? Really?
A big, successful YouTube channel. I wonder why he got so many subscribers so quickly.
What's his secret? What's his secret?
It's because he's a movie star. But yeah, he vlogs now. Superstar vlogger.
Will, you could be making so much more money.
He was in YouTube Rewind 2018.
Wow. There's something wrong with that platform if that's what's going on at the moment. Like, I step away from YouTube kind of going, it's a bit, I used to try and upload some bits and bobs here and there, and I'm like, YouTube's crazy and weird now. I'm just fucking leaving this shit behind. I'm gonna craft a non-YouTube niche in the world for myself. And you turn around and you come back and fucking Will Smith is driving around in his Cadillac that's not what YouTube's all about.
No. This is like when David Tennant got a podcast, and I was like, fuck off, mate. Come on. You don't need this.
No, you don't.
I need this.
Those podcast sisters are for me and me only. And if you've listened to David Tennant's podcast, stop listening right this second.
Yeah.
And then restart because you'll count as a second listen and we can use the stats. But you spent a lot of time talking about if he's bankable, he's a big star.
He's bankable.
Do you like Will Smith?
Yes.
Why?
He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good guy. I think he's got comedy chops.
He does, yeah. He's not beyond having a laugh at himself, is he?
But he's also but he's got a sense of humour, and he can also do all the action stuff.
He's been physically intense in many movies. He's been quite the beefcake,
and that's what you want. You want someone who can be funny and be actiony, an action man and a drama man. He's a good drama man.
He is very much so. He's got soulful eyes, there's depth there.
He's got range. The kid's got range.
I would say that this is probably I know he had some small roles and stuff like that, but this was like him, breakout, leading man, big, huge name. And like apparently at the time, even for it to be like an African American who was a relatively, he was known on TV, but it's not like now where like if you're on TV, it's like what, like if you've been in a movie which might build you up to be on a prestige TV show. Back in the day, there was a chasm between TV and movies, and particularly TV, like The Fresh Prince, which was kind of live studio audience, cheapish sets, yada yada. You know, he was viewed as not being like a bankable star by many, and it was quite shocked that he would be put so prominently on this, and this was all on his broad rippling shoulders. But he has some help along the way, and now's the time to ask you, what, if anything, do you know about the master of disaster, Jeff Goldblum?
Right. I have wanted to talk about Jeff Goldblum for a while.
Isn't he great? Oh, no, Sam, come at me now.
Well, no, right. The thing about Jeff Goldblum, it's much like the Bill Murray thing.
Or the George Takei thing.
Or where everyone idolises him and thinks like, he's so great. Oh, he's got a jazz album. Oh, that's so cool. Oh,
Sam, he played jazz with Jay Rayner.
Did he?
He did.
Christ.
What, your favourite actor and Kevin's favourite food critic played jazz together? They did, yes.
And he, on chat shows, he's always a bit aloof and weird, and everyone finds him very charming and interesting and sexy and cool. I know this is gonna...
But why does no one ever say that I'm charming and sexy and cool?
Why not Jeff Goldblum? This is going to land me in some hot water, but I don't fully get it.
Really?
I know it's not ironic, but is it ironic?
I think with Jeff Goldblum, is that he is one of those celebrities who had a whole generation, and that generation in particular is the first generation that became like content creators and people who communicated through memes, and the first web-enabled proper generation, who got this shit. He's big, talking Jurassic Park, you're talking Independence Day. The man's fingerprints are all over. You've seen Jurassic Park, so even his fingerprints are over your childhood's DNA, which is a phrase I will not say again. I'm sorry that was in your ears just there. But I think he's one of those few stars who gets it and uses it to his advantage. Okay. He gets that people love him because he's this guy who's in all these big blockbuster movies, and then you find out he's actually a bit weird, and he leans into that motherfucking thing because he's done stuff with like Tim and Eric and stuff like, really.
Chef Goldblum.
Chef Goldblum, exactly. Yeah. He's done such an array of strange, weird, passion-y project stuff. And I think he's not like Bill Murray in the sense that Bill Murray seems to be quite closed off and mysterious. Jeff Goldblum is like, he's the open book to Bill Murray's very closed book that you've only heard anecdotes about from your mates.
Yeah.
You know? So I think people like that. He's given people what they want, Sam. And they want Jeff Goldblum to be weird and sexy and aloof. And the man is more than happy to oblige.
Yeah. I'm just not as charmed by it as it feels like everyone else is. You know, I feel a bit left out.
I think a lot of this could be to do with the childhood, with the missing of the movies. Because, I mean, what are the main things you know Jeffy G from?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Everyone loving him on the internet. He's been in a few Wes Anderson things.
And of course, we all remember the running gag where Jazzy Jeff Goldblum would be thrown out of the house by the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, and he would go, ah, and he'd be thrown out, wouldn't he?
Not much else, really. I know him as a meme, mostly, as an internet figure.
You know what, Sam? I really don't want to be condescending here when I say this. And I'm trying to find the right tone of voice. But I understand that this must be very hard for you.
There are certain actors who are on, like, enamel pin badges.
Yes.
And he's one of those.
He is. He absolutely is.
But I'm not... I don't really understand why. Is it because he looks weird? Or he sounds weird?
A little bit of all those things.
Is he cool?
He is cool. He is very cool. He's very stylish. He's got a jazz quartet, for fuck's sake, Sam. Of course he's... But, like, I think with Jeff, like, from a personal standpoint, if he's in a movie, I'm like, awesome, thumbs up. Like, Thor Ragnarok, for me, that's perfect Jeff Goldblum casting, because he's playing, you know, you've seen Thor Ragnarok, right?
No.
What you do, Anima?
I've not seen Ragnarok.
That might make you understand Jeff Goldblum, because I think that was the most efficient and effective harvesting of his brand.
Okay.
Putting it into a movie to make that movie cool and fun, which old Thor movies definitely weren't. But, like, I love Jeff Goldblum. If he's in something, I'll be like, awesome, great. He's like a modern Christopher Walken for me.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to play himself.
Yeah. No, yes. He's that guy. Again, Walken is in the same realm.
Kind of weird guy, kind of brilliant though.
Yeah.
Does seemingly the same role almost all the time, but it's a lot more nuanced and no one else can do it but him. The roles are written for him.
Is it the voice? Is it a unique voice? Is that the distinguishing thing that makes you an internet man?
Now, Christopher Walken and Jeff Goldblum, there's a podcast that you're allowed to make. If Walken wants to start vlogging, show me his shopping haul, I'm cool with that. Hey, guys.
this gold watch. So, yeah, Goldblum, I'm not sure I get it yet. Now, I can feel, as I'm saying this, the comments and replies. I can feel them underneath me. Even though this isn't out in the open yet, I can feel it
already. They're being preemptively written, Sam, in case you decide. I mean, you similarly didn't get the hype about Bill Murray.
And I think I'm on board these days a bit. You know,
you enjoyed his performances. I think you should watch this now and be open
I'm
to
keeping
loving
an open mind,
Jeff.
open heart.
Yeah, don't. I understand that the fan base is very intimidating because, like, I love him, but like, I'm never going to buy like a big Jeff Goldblum poster to stick up on my wall. Probably not. When I saw the giant shirtless Jeff Goldblum statue in London, I thought, okay, that's maybe taking the joke a step in the direction of being too far.
And it didn't look a fucking thing like him when you went up close to it. It was scary, that thing.
The Ed Sheeran one in Russia looked more like him than that.
There's an Ed Sheeran one in Russia.
There is. Ed Sheeran is taking over Russia, baby.
Hold on. All right, so I've looked up Ed Sheeran. Oh my God! Oh Jesus!
Yeah, right.
But it's doing the same Goldblum pose.
It's a whole thing, I think.
What the fuck was that?
It's the internet, my friend. They've got it in Russia now too. Memes and everything.
Oh no, that's not good. I like that one less than the Goldblum one.
Okay.
I'll tell you that for now.
There's obviously a litany of Hollywood blockbuster megastars in this big-time action movie. What of this movie, plot-wise, do you know? What happened?
Aliens.
Okay, aliens.
Aliens blow up the White House, mate.
Oh, you know that, because they gave that away in the trailer, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think it's on the DVD cover, actually.
I think is that not the poster? Yeah. Aliens blow up the White House.
That's you know what? Big fucking game there, lad. Seriously, that's showing your money shot on the poster. That's strong.
I think that's on the poster. There's a UFO.
No, you're right. It was.
Yeah. Aliens blow up the White House.
Yeah.
I imagine this movie then poses the question, what then?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
What now?
And with regards to any important lines of dialogue or moments or speeches from this movie, is there anything you're aware of?
Yeah. I've had it with these motherfucking aliens blowing up this motherfucking White House. I don't know.
You don't know?
People in the comments when I put the vote up were like, "Oh, I can't wait for him to talk about the speech." I'm like, I don't know what speech, so I'm not aware of the speech.
Interesting, because they did a sequel to this the other year, didn't they? It's like really randomly timed. I don't think I know a single person who saw that. That just came and went. That was so weird. But I remember this was like one of those movies when I was a kid that it's like, oh, okay, every toy in the shop is an Independence Day toy. Every ad on TV is an Independence Day ad. Like, I was targeted hard, even though I think the movie is 12s. You know, I don't know if I was quite ready to see the White House be destroyed.
Highest grossing film of 1996.
Wow! Yeah. How about that? So, I would have been a ripe 8 years old when I saw this one. And as you're a few years younger than me, is this probably one of the ones that was just like...
I would have been too young to really even...
Yeah.
Well, no, I was aware that it existed.
I mean, do you know, like, did the family go see it? Was this one that your brother saw?
Well, almost certainly. But also what I think has happened is that my family's collective memory, and by family I mean my mum and dad, their memory of this has fused with their memory of Armageddon, which I have seen.
Okay, similar themes of space and 1990s.
Yeah, and also very high-grossing, big deal film. But they've kind of fused together in the mind of my family. So when I mentioned Independence Day to my dad, he was like, "Oh yeah, Bruce Willis." And I was like, "Bruce Willis?" I mean, maybe Bruce Willis is in this, I don't know. But I don't think he is.
No movie could handle Willis and Smith on the same screen, surely.
No.
That's too much star power.
I don't know who Will Smith's character is.
You know, I mean, can you assume that he's the hero? I would have thought you know that much.
Yeah, but why? What's his role?
What could you think could Will Smith's role in this be?
Chief... maybe he's like an alien researcher?
You're going to cast Smith as the researcher, and what's Goldblum going to do then?
He's going to shoot all the aliens.
I'm really upset I'm not going to go see that movie now, where Jeff Goldblum shoots down aliens while Will Smith is the guy in the chair in the lab, like, feeding him data.
Neither of them is the president, right?
I'm not saying.
Don't tell me. Okay. No, I don't know. I don't know what happens other than aliens attack and they blow up the White House.
I mean, yeah, honestly, getting into any finer detail than that, if you don't know anything else, I doubt it's going to be... I mean, that is broad strokes. What we're going to see is 2 hours and 40 minutes of that, basically.
Aliens blow up the White House. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm excited.
I've not seen this one since I was a wee young lad, and I remember loving the fuck out of this. This was so, like, feel-good summer blockbuster hit. And I have this thing in the back of my head that in the trying, turbulent times that we live in these days, that a truly feel-good action movie is one of the best things ever. And I don't think there's many of those. There's a lot of mean-spirited action movies, or action movies that have heart but also are pretty much comedies.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to hold some, red-blooded, good old-fashioned, let's all save the earth together. And I think this might actually do the soul a bit of good, he says before watching this long movie.
I hope so. Yeah, the only other caveat is it is long.
It is long.
And we know what I'm like.
We know what you're like.
So...
And it's hot as well, so you might get to see Sam be hot and bothered when we come back.
We've already heard my bullshit Goldblum take, so we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're not going to go quietly into that night, but instead, we're going to go do a cinema swirl.
Hey!
Oh, fuck me, it is so hot. And we're back! And here we are, Indiana Day and the Temple of Aliens. Sam, initial gut reactions to the patriotic, fist-thumping, Bill Pullmaning movie that we've just watched.
I'm fucking boiling. Just kidding. That was a banging movie. I love that.
Yeah?
It feels like summer right now. It's very hot. And that was a summer blockbuster right there, I tell you.
It was.
That was a bloody blockbuster.
It was a hot dog is what it was, my friend.
Oof. Yes, please. Pop some mustard on there, and I'm having it.
You don't just need to hear it from the aficionados at Hot Dog Magazine. It is a certifiable Frankfurter of a movie. So, what, you had fun then? That's our primary takeaway at the beginning?
Yeah, I had a really fun time.
Okay.
It was very enjoyable.
I think we need to just set the scene a little bit here, because this is a most unusual Swirl set of circumstances. You may have heard in the first part of the episode brief mention of the temperatures which we are experiencing. And Sam, how would you describe those temperatures?
Really, really hot. Like, very, like, full-on hot.
Yeah. Proper hot, like, you know,
Big
not
hot.
diet hot, not reformulated hot, so it's slightly less hot. I'm talking full-on hot.
Full-fat hot.
Yesterday, where I was, I'm in Manchester, and yesterday was the second hottest day of the year. And because it's a long movie, we've had an overnight job with this one, because it's 2 hours 25 or whatever. So today, it is the actual hottest day of the year.
Woo!
So there's a couple of provisos in effect because of this. Firstly, this is the first time that I've ever, in my mind, actually genuinely thought about cancelling a podcast because of weather. That's never happened before, like.
But we're here, goddammit.
We're here, goddammit. But unusual circumstances, Sam. How are things a bit different for you and I now this time round?
I don't have a shirt on.
Yeah, I'm straight up naked right here.
So it's more of a raunchy episode than we've ever had before.
It is, but because of my Catholic shame and also my Catholic guilt, we also don't have the video on our Skype call at the moment.
Because it would be too upsetting to both of us, I think.
But before you go think that we're smelly prudes or anything like that, right? The way it went was that you said because it was so hot that you wanted to have your curtains closed, and you were like,
I don't want any lights on.
You didn't want any lights on, you want the curtain because you wanted to not get hotter. And I was like, okay, I understand that. My curtains are drawn here as well.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, because of that, I guess, because we won't be able to see each other so well, I guess we'll just do audio only. And then you said, well, I might as well just take my shirt off. And then... Go!
Playing the football!
And as a result, I mentally made the decision to be nude for this.
Yeah.
So this is the first nude podcast that I have ever done.
We can't see each other, but we know.
Yeah, and now you know as well.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that, Sam?
I'm feeling great about it. I'm sure our listeners are loving it.
Yeah. If you're at home, listen in nude as well, or topless, whichever way. Hashtag Team Sam, hashtag Team Kevin. Are you topless or naked?
I've realised this starts to sound a bit like a fan fiction of the podcast. Oh no, it's too hot.
Oh, Sam, I know that you can't drink Pepsi, but what about if I pour it all over my chest? So, let's get into this hot summer blockbuster before we die of exposure.
Kevin, those titles, I fucking love them.
I'm a big fan.
That's great. Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, straight in as well. No messing around. Like, poof, it's Independence Day. Poof, it's July the 2nd, which is not Independence Day, but the film's called Independence Day, so we have to... That was a bit jarring.
Very jarring.
I'll let them get away with that. Then cut to the American flag on the moon, baby. And then there's a shadow coming over the moon. Uh-oh, what's that?
When, Sam, did it become no longer acceptable for movies to explode themselves onto the screen? Like, you like that,
I loved that. It was so loud and aggressive. Independence Day, July the 2nd.
It was a very auspicious start, let's just say. So yes, the United Moon of America is under attack by alien invaders.
Kevin, I love how quickly this movie just goes, hey, there's some fucking aliens on the moon. There's no, here's what the world is like at the moment. It's like, there's aliens on the moon, mate.
You want to know what the world's like at the moment? Take a look around you. It's 1996. Bill Pullman's in office. You remember the years.
I thought it was quite clever that, I say clever, a bit obvious, but I liked it, that the lads in the kind of, are they in a control room? Is that where Jeff Goldblum works. What is it?
Jeff Goldblum, where he is, seems to be in we don't see it till later, but he seems to be working in like a news outlet or an agency of some sort. I think he's meant to be like the science guy for like a TV station or something like that, because they're all talking about reporting and stuff like that. But, obviously he's just very aloof and being Jeff Goldblum. I have to say right now, okay, because this is a solid 10 out of 10 performance from Jeffy G, and I was just wondering if you got it now, if you had your Bill Murray aha moment while watching this movie. Where do you stand with Jeff?
Honestly, I get it. He was very charming in this.
Yay!
It was an enjoyable performance. There are some bits later on that I'll get to where I'm like, but for the most part,
Sam was basically like the parent who'd only seen the new boyfriend on Twitter and Facebook and heard people talking about him and had a bit of an idea about what they might be like. But when he came round for tea, it was absolutely lovely.
He was so polite.
Charmed the pants off you.
Yes.
Literally, he's charmed the pants off me and the top off of Yola.
So the lads, wherever Jeff is, they're listening to REM, It's the End of the World as We Know It, which I'm like, because there's aliens on the moon, so it probably is.
Wait, is Jeff in the satellite station at the start? I thought we didn't see him till later.
Oh, is he not? I can't remember. I thought he went into there.
No, it's separate.
These sets look very similar, but somewhere they're listening to REM, It's the End of the World as We Know It, and it looks like it's nearly going to be the end of the world.
I know. This is like kind of if you had a movie that was set on a train and you played Crazy Train at the start of that movie, You missed out on Deadly Ground 2. You could have done that, and you could have done big business with Ozzy, but whatever, man. That's no skin off my nose. So yeah, they're getting a radio signal from an other world.
Shit. It's close. This signal is close.
Sure, who's there now? Who is? I think, right? I know we've got a big anniversary, big number coming up for this, and we're going to do a lot of it. Big time number coming up soon, and we'll spend a lot of time, I'm sure, reflecting and whatnot, because there won't be much to talk about in the movie that we'll be doing. But Robert Loggia has been in so many movies.
Yeah.
Like, I think to the point where people are going to think that this recent run of Swirl, where we've been probably releasing episodes more frequently than we ever have before. And what have most of these episodes got in common? It's Robert Loggia, be it Big, be it Scarface. He is here, and he is once again a delight on my screen.
He's the catalyst for our renewed productivity.
These fucking aliens! Don't they fucking know I got a barbecue coming up? I gotta fucking rip out their hearts and shove it up their biomechanical cells. Oh, they breathe fucking oxygen? Good, I'm gonna fucking choke the life out of them.
Is he Chief Army Man, like... What's his job?
I think his official title is Big Army Brass.
Big Army Brass.
I'm also, Sam, very happy you didn't have to see me do that upsetting impression while naked. I'm very happy there's no one here at the moment.
So we're in the Pentagon at that point with him. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to like a nice family man with a deep voice on the phone to his wife. It looks like he's in a hotel with his daughter.
He must be like some sort of Joe Everyman, like you or me, Sam.
He seems like such a regular guy. He let his daughter stay up to watch Letterman. But hold on. He's the President of the United States of America.
Say what?
Pull back and reveal, baby. That regular dude, he's the leader of the free world.
Whoa! And he's got a less than 40% approval rating. And they say that he can't even get his crime bill passed. All the senators were like, you know what?
I like crime.
I love crime. All of my life is crime.
The transitions and titles and stuff in this film are so dramatic. We established that with the stuff at the start, but even cuts between places have these big and like flashy. It's such a weird cut that I've never seen before.
Okay, right. There's something about this movie which, I mean, I'd seen a lot as a kid. Loved it. This is a VHS purchase, that was unquestionably going to happen. But I was wondering if you noticed any similarities between this movie and some other movie brackets that we have done on this podcast before.
I've made a few Star Wars comparisons.
Yeah, there's mega Star Wars vibes.
There's some bits later where I'm like, this is just fucking Star Wars.
It is straight up Star Wars, so much of it. And you know what? This was 96. The re-release of the Star Wars original trilogy came in 97 to mark the 20th anniversary of Episode 4.
Right.
So this was like, I think, the last possible moment where you could actually be derivative of Star Wars and kind of get away with it. Like,
Yeah.
what are they going to do? Make more of them? Bah, get out of town, like.
We meet Jeffy Goldblum. He's playing chess in the park with his dad.
Him and his pep playing chess.
We get some nice character building because he's divorced, but he still wears his wedding band. I wonder if that'll come up later.
I mean, he's so charming. You never really divorce Jeff Goldblum, do you? Like,
No.
And just so everyone knows, his character will be referred to as Jeff Goldblum throughout this movie. What is his actual name? Is it Martin or something? Like
Dan?
Dan?
No,
Like when the other
Daniel?
characters were calling him stuff, I'm like, you idiots, it's Jeff. You got his name. Look, did you see him get his name wrong? He's going to be the president. He doesn't even know who Jeff Goldblum is, you fucking idiot. No wonder your approval rating sucks, Pullman.
I've written Jeffy for every instance. Jeff Goldblum's character.
Straight up JG here for the abbreviations among us. So, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, much like Star Wars, you do have this bit at the start, like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie is like, here's some people here. Whoop! Here's some people somewhere completely different.
Oh,
Whoop!
yeah.
Here's some people over here. How will they ever come together?
Establishing all these characters in their little places. So we get Jeff, he goes to where he works, as a reporter science man. We've got Harvey Fierstein, who voices Carl in that one Simpsons episode. Really deep voiced Carl.
The guy who's got the voice like this.
Oh, I love that.
Does he do the voice of the big heads, the frogs from Rocco's Modern Life, the wife? Because she's got the voice like this as well.
I've got no idea, but that voice to me just, lovely.
Beautiful.
Delicious voice.
He should have been the star of this movie. Check out Jeff Goldblum riding his bicycle around like a fucking rebel.
He's all concerned about recycling and boring shit like that rather than the important alien stuff that everyone else is concerned about. What a nerd.
The good old days in the 1990s where being remotely concerned about the environment is like a quirky character trait in the oddball sense. Look at this guy over here. Well, what are you going to do? Save the planet. Ha ha ha.
Another cut that we get to other people in a different place. We've got some kids in the California desert.
Who's their dad?
Some mad wazzock in a plane.
Do you recognise him?
Should I recognise him?
Yes.
Who is he?
It's only Randy Quaid from friggin' National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, God, it's Thingy, isn't it? It's the cousin guy who comes to stay.
So it's there.
Fuck, it is.
Oh, man. Now, the problem about this...
that level of madcap tomfoolery.
With this hot weather, and then I saw this guy here coming up on the screen, Sam, and I just thought back, like, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, winter.
Lovely, cool thing. I was just thinking, like, just spray me with that shit pipe, because I imagine it's just, like, nice and cool now, and it would just be calming compared to the heat that we're dealing with, because I imagine it's very, very much less than the 35 degrees that we have.
My back is like a waterfall at the moment.
Now, Sam, don't go chasing waterfalls, okay? Don't you dare.
I want to be a waterfall, and my dream has finally come true. This guy in his plane, something about a pilot hat, the kind of pilot hat?
Yeah, I love those boys.
Suggests silliness to me. And that seems rude to the pilot community, but...
Like, if you got onto a long-haul flight and it's like, this is your captain speaking, I just want everyone to know that I'm wearing my silly hat that makes me look like...
I don't know why that is. Who's that kind of rubbish comedian who's very old-fashioned who wears that hat? What's it?
Hey, you talking about Roy Chubby Brown?
Oh, Roy Chubby Brown. Yeah, he wears like a...
No, but you have to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. You have to laugh.
I suppose it might be more that it's not an airline pilot, it's a private pilot. It's someone who's decided they want to fly a plane solo. Just for the joy of flying.
Or is the Reg Baron from Wet Races.
Yeah, it suggests silliness, villainy, or both.
Meanwhile, in space, discs form, and they're very futuristic looking. This is back in the 90s, where the only thing more sci-fi and space age than a disc was a mini disc. That's pretty much god tier sci-fi right there.
I think that's where all those AOL trial discs came from, was that UFO. Back in the mid-90s, they all just fell out of there. They scooped them up and had to give them out.
So, President holds court with the cabinet cabinet. They've got like 25 minutes to figure out what the frig is going on because it's coming their way. They all reckon that whatever it is, it's coming from the moon, so it's got to be some sort of like big piece of debris or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, these discs are massive, aren't they?
They're
they're little
huge.
discs compared to the big disc, but on Earth, it's like it could cover a big chunk of New York, for example.
And we have pandemonium in Russia. This is like 1996 where, like, you know, Russians were, you know, they were still being portrayed as being baddies, but we don't really know why. But yeah, pandemonium. And then the planes that are trying to check him out, they go boom, and it turns out that maybe this isn't just debris, and these aren't just any old discs in the sky.
No, these are bad discs. These are corrupted discs.
Evil discs causing shadows.
I tell you what, Kevin, this president seems like a great guy, because he's like, you know what, I don't want to go to the secure location. I want to stay right here in the White House and die.
Yeah, he's really the Pepsi Max of presidents. Would you rather go to the bunker with the cabinet, or would you rather stay in the White House with your mates? And I'm like, yeah, obviously. Like.
And definitely be killed. Jeff hasn't been paying attention to what's going on, so he comes in and he's like, oh, I've figured out the code. They're really far away, but they're probably going to be gone in a little while. And everyone's like, no, they're hovering over the world, mate. They're poised to kill us. He's been too focused on cracking the code from the transmission. What a silly science boy he is.
I assumed that Jeff is doing a lot of work off camera in this movie because he has several eureka moments that are then buttressed and backed up by data, programs that he's made, like, you know, machinations beyond anything of this world. It's very impressive work.
You know what, Kevin? I love stuff like that, though. I love the fact that, like, in modern movies, I think, modern blockbusters, you would have to add some sort of pseudoscience into the script, or even real science into the script to justify being like, I've figured out this code. But he's just like, I've listened to it loads of times and I've figured it out because I'm smart.
It was a simpler time.
Later on, he's like, I'm going to put a computer virus in the aliens because I know how to do that. And no one questions it.
Of course. Why didn't we think of that? Like,
yeah. I
like
love
putting
that.
too much air in a balloon.
We don't need all the actual details of what happens. We just need the broad strokes. He's got a computer virus, or he's figured out a code because he's clever.
We're too tech savvy for this type of low-key storytelling these days. It's like how in every horror movie you have to have a scene where someone looks at their phone and go, damn, out of web fluid, so they can't use it, you know?
I mean, nowadays, Jeff would just hold up Shazam to the transmission from the aliens and he'd figure out what it was, but that's not as fun as what we get here.
We get some more character development from old Russ, Randy Quaid. It was kidnapped by aliens when he was a young'un, and everyone's making fun of him, going, oh, do they probe you? Oh, did they do sexy things with you? And he's all
very funny stuff.
Very, very funny stuff. The idea of a man having sex against his will with an alien, that is quality humour right there, guys.
Imagine how scared he would be. That's hilarious.
Very, very good. And no one believes him. Goodness. So, yeah, a really cool shot here. This is, you know, after you get introduced to Will Smith, he's asleep while all this is going on.
Yeah.
But the iconic shot, this is the trailer money shot right here, where the big discs emerge from the clouds.
Oh, yeah. Scary stuff. This is all models, isn't it?
There is some very, very early rudimentary CGI in this. There was a couple of CGI choppers and birds in this. Birds as in choppers, folks. Keep up. But yeah, this is a lot of miniature work. And honestly, it looks so perfect and brilliant.
It looks great. Yeah. I don't know why there's not really been I can't think of any films that have gone, no, let's just use actual miniatures again.
Oh, there is one actually. You know, I think you might have seen it. You know, Moon with Sam Rockwell.
Is that all?
That's all miniatures,
well,
yeah.
That's good.
Apparently, yeah. And that's really awesome. Someone pointed out to me the other day, GoldenEye, that uses loads of miniatures as well. That's from 97 or whenever it is. Like, most of the iconic shots are, you see like big stuff. It's just like clever little miniatures on top of doors behind them and stuff like that. Have you seen GoldenEye?
Yes, yeah. Okay. I love GoldenEye. I love the game, and I watched the film many a time.
Now tell me now, how is your general Bond level of watching? Because I think we could do a Bond Swirl Swill if you've not seen many.
I've not seen enough that I've seen loads. I've seen a few.
Right. Folks, we may need to try and have a little chat with Sam and see which of the Bonds that he has and also which of the Bond movies are considered to be legitimate classics.
Yeah, and which are poop.
I cannot wait to watch View to a Kill with you, Sam.
I can't either. Sounds fabulous.
Will Smith finds out what's up.
There are actual aliens. The little kids his girlfriend's kid is like, oh, I'm out playing shooting aliens. There were actual aliens outside. That's great. Love stuff like that. Everyone's packing and trying to leave because there's a big UFO nearby. There's a London one. There's a Cockney UFO as well. We see that.
Oi!
That's exciting. Oi!
What's that disc up there? No, none in Ireland, though, because they thought, well, they've already had enough of that, haven't they? You know?
The aliens had a little sit down and they're like, all right.
Okay, look.
We'll let them off the hook.
Vikings, Normans, the hated British, and aliens. Come on now, that's a bit... Your plate is too full. Go back to the Toby Carvery and put back some of those pork loin.
Absolutely. Jeff's figured out that transmission was a countdown and that the aliens are going to attack when they get the signal that the end of the countdown has happened.
I'm really glad that Jeff speaks alien.
Yeah, I do like that there's no explanation as to how he's figured this out, but also I don't like it because I do sort of want to know.
Like, the brain inside of me is like, hang on a second, but the actual movie watching experience, which ultimately demands that the brain not be involved when it comes to Independence Day, overrides that.
Have you seen Arrival?
Yes.
I mean, some of the stuff that Jeff does off camera, Arrival stretched out into a whole movie.
I think, honestly, from the first bit we talked about, Jeff, to the bit you just mentioned there, that is Arrival. That is like the whole movie.
The whole of Arrival happened between then and now.
There's a whole room full of really depressed-looking scientists working round the clock with Jeff that never get any screen time.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of people kind of, on the move, trying to get around here. You find out that Jeff Goldblum's ex is actually the president's communications lady.
Yes.
Whoa. And lots of foreboding here as everyone's making their way. Randy's going in his RV with his boys. Jeff Goldblum and his dad are there, and they're like trying to get through the traffic. And he's like, what? You think Washington won't be there? Oh, no.
Oh.
Don't you be saying that.
The kids in the California desert, I think one of them is the son of Randy Quaid, has this wonderful line that is very smooth.
It was like, I don't want to lose my virginity before the end of the world, man.
Wait, I don't want to lose my virginity.
I don't want to not lose my virginity.
I want to die a virgin. Please don't have sex with me. This will be our last night on Earth. You don't want to die a virgin, do you? Very smooth. That's the one way to get someone to have sex with you, to imply that, well, we're going to die. So,
I mean, that is romantic, isn't it? That is that. I mean, they say romance is dead, and then you hear lines like that, and you kind of think, man, that would set anyone's heart to flutter. You tell me the world is dying, and I have no choice but to have sex with you. Sign me up. One
funny thing is the news, they're asking Americans not to fire their guns at the UFOs.
There's a lovely sign. It's like, like alien and like a line through the handgun. I love that.
I mean, we're watching this at a good time vis-a-vis all the Storm Area 51 bollocks that's going on at the moment. I mean, anti-alien or pro-alien sentiment is amok amongst today's culture. I think
that's the issue with the Area 51, is that there is both a lot of anti and pro-alien sentiment converging into one area.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they actually want. But
answers, Sam. Answers.
Yeah. There's a little visual gag. So Will Smith's character, who I'll be referring to as Will Smith, he's a pilot, fighter pilot, very good. He's in the kind of changing room of the pilot zone,
where they get into their special Top Gun suits.
His mate talks about how you have to kiss a bunch of ass to get a promotion in this place, and then he kind of mimes kissing Will Smith's ass. He kind of gets on his knees, and then he finds a ring in Will Smith's stuff, like an engagement ring. I was like, whoa, what's this? And so he's already on his knees, and he's showing Will the ring that he's found, and someone else comes across them, and it looks like he's proposing to Will Smith, and that's a really laboured visual gag.
It took us a while to get there. Like.
It took so long for this.
Don't let Sam's lengthy description fool you, folks. It took us that long to get to the gag.
Yeah. Is Jeff heading towards Washington to try and get his ex-wife to get out of here, or is he doing it for that and also because he needs to tell the president, like, there's a big countdown? It's a bit about it,
only Jeff Goldblum knows. I think it's a little from column A and a little from column B. But what is good, though, Sam, is that even though, there's aliens and, everywhere, and there's lots of protesters out there, and there's people who are fans of the aliens, there's loads of chaos, Jeff Goldblum is able to find the wherewithal to triangulate the data and jack into his wife's phone.
Again, a nonsensical explanation that I love. He can just do it because he's smart.
She's using Foursquare, Sam. That's why. She's the mayor of the White House. And he's like, oh, well, we know where she is. So they go to the White House, and his dad has my favourite line in the movie. I can't be walking around here. I look like a schlemiel.
A schlemiel?
I love Yiddish. Yiddish. Schmuck is a great goddamn word.
Schmuck's fantastic.
I love that starting letter. But a schlemiel is fucking brilliant. Anyone knows what a schlemiel is, do hit me up on Twitter, because I do want to know.
The president, after hearing from Jeff and his dad, finally wants to get the fuck out of here. I think all it took was someone saying, you know, those aliens are probably going to blow the White House up, right? Because that's really likely based on the fact there's a countdown. And so it's gone, yeah, good point. Let's get out of here.
I love that the big dramatic line is, they're using our satellites. Da-da-da,
Whoa!
da-da-da.
Pretty smart of the aliens, to be fair.
But those are ours. You're not allowed to use those.
It's like stealing your neighbour's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. They should have encrypted the passwords on that. You know, it's our own fault. Like lazy, 1996 laissez-faire password non-protection.
That's what you get. It's your own fault for leaving it so vulnerable.
So they try to communicate with them with, I think, like lights and stuff. Laser kills them. So the aliens are pretty much like, they're too cool for school. They don't care that they've got loads of adoring fans. They're like the Libertines or something like that. A real cool band, just doesn't care. It's just, you know what? Pete Doherty's just going to destroy the White House anyway, mate, yeah?
I love that was your go-to for, like, cool band.
And I will say as well, yes, the White House is a very large fried cooked breakfast that Pete Doherty just demolishes in one go. Remember that when he ate that big breakfast?
The look on his face, he was so happy, but also so full looking.
It was the happiest and fullest I'd ever seen him.
God bless him. Glad he's still around.
Now, there came a point here where Joe wandered in while I was watching this, and she says, this movie is boring as I remember it being. I go, well, I've just had around 10 minutes of cities exploding, and there's another 10 minutes on the way. So, for me, no.
No. I mean, people running from big explosions in New York obviously feels extra upsetting now.
Yeah, that's true.
A bit unfortunate. But there is some good, everyone around the world running from everything blowing up. I do like the kind of taxis crashing into each other calamity. I feel like that's been used in a few films. Everyone kind of like getting out of their cars, looking up, everything crashing into each other. It's just a mess.
There was big hot fuss about this when it came out because they used the White House exploding. That was like, it was everywhere. Like I'm pretty sure I got a free miniature White House exploding toy in my Kellogg's like at the time. Like, hey kids, why don't you try to destroy the White House? But I do remember there was controversy, people at the time saying it was un-American or unpatriotic to support or show a movie that destroys that building being blown up.
Nah, it's fine.
I think that London has got some of the most destructible buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Ben, you want to see the fireball come out of the clock face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Houses of Parliament are already kind of very slowly exploding onto itself over the course of many years already. Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to blow anything up in Dublin now, because you don't want to blow up the Spike or anything like that. We're a low-lying country, generally speaking. So don't go after Temple Bar. Leave Dublin alone, all right? Just stay away, Go over to England. They've got loads of tall buildings. Manchester's got fuckloads of them.
If you're listening, aliens,
I don't know why I just told the aliens to avoid my homeland and attack my actual home where I am. So go after Nottingham. Yeah, they've got Robin Hood. He robbed from the aliens and gave to the poor, didn't he? Think about it. You've got to get your revenge on him.
Don't get me blown up by aliens. I think Deep Gravel Voice Man is dead. He was in a car trying to get away, and he just died.
Oh, I have a lot of time, Sam, for people going, oh, crap. Not just in that voice, but anyone saying, oh, crap, or oh, shit, before they die. That is like peak movie for me.
I do want those to be my final words, even if I'm not in a, dramatic accident or a big calamity. I just want to go.
Sam Chaplin passed away quietly, surrounded by friends and family after a short illness and saying, oh, crap.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. So the Air Force One, which the whole gang, the president, Jeff's dad, they just managed to fly out of the path of the explosion. I do love people kind of just getting out of the big orange ball of explosion-y.
What you see, Sam, from my science degree, I can tell you that heat is solely contained within the orange of any given explosion.
As long as you're outside of the orange.
Heat doesn't travel, Sam. It doesn't, Like, if you got a hot plate and put it beside another hot plate, unless you draw an orange line, it's not going to get that heat transferred.
I tell you, Kevin, it feels like we're in the orange at the moment because, a little reminder, it's hot.
It is hot. Thank you, Sam. I had literally forgotten for the briefest of seconds.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for dragging me back into this.
We get Air Force One flying out of the path of an explosion, but we also get Will Smith's girlfriend's dog.
Yes,
jumping out from an explosion.
He's such a good boy.
I love that. That was great. Dog dramatically jumping out of the way of an explosion. Give me that all day. Make that the whole film. Just loop that. Give me that gif.
When the guy with the cool voice died, I was like, oh. But then it was like, you know what? You could kill 20 of my favourite subplot characters as long as this dog gets to heroically live. Yes!
Yeah! So, July the 3rd now.
Oh, no, sorry. That's not that. No.
Independence Eve.
'Twas the night before Independence.
Will wants to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass with all of his fellow pilots.
I love the shot that you see at the start where it's just like, yeah, Statue of Liberty is destroyed, and more destroyed than if it was done by apes in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, what happened to the Statue of Liberty? It's fallen over, but it's all fucked up as well.
It's right on its side, like, you know. I think Charlton Heston just would have put his hands on his hips and went, for fuck's sake, at that point, and walked away in disgust. So yeah, Will and the rest of the Rebel Alliance are going to whoop E.T.'s ass, and many boffins died to bring us this information, Sam. This is exactly the scene where they describe, and he's like, but wait a minute, with our jet planes, we won't be able to hit a target that small. And then Will Smith's like, come on, on my T-16 back home in Tatooine, I used to hit wombats all the time. It's no bother, like, it was so like it.
It's exactly the same, but that's fine. You know, and then, what?
When Admiral Akbar came in, I was like, hang on a minute now. Like, there's no way we can repel alien firepower of that magnitude, Will Smith.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just do Star Wars again. They all shoot at the UFO, but it's got a force field, so they can't shoot it. They've got to find a way to disable the force field, right?
I really liked when when his white friend did his Jesse Jackson impression. That was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. not great, that. This whole sequence is just a blast, like literally in a lot of ways. Then we're flying around the UFO trying to, you know,
all the TIE fighters came out, and it's like, I can't shake them. What did you do?
The cuts between the, you know, direct face-on camera inside the cockpit and, you know, the flying around and the chases and the narrow kind of corridors of alien world, it's exactly the same. We get Will Smith ejecting out of his fighter thing.
After his friend Jimmy dies. Jimmy, no! Jimmy! I won't be able to hear your fun Jesse Jackson impression anymore. Jimmy! He was going to do that impression at my wedding.
Kevin, do you want to know my favourite line of this film?
Is it, welcome to Earth, sure?
Yes, it is.
Have you had a wee?
Will opens up a fallen alien ship. An alien comes out, and he just punches that alien in the fucking face and says, welcome to Earth.
He sparks him out, mate. It's brilliant.
Then he sparks him out, and then sparks up a cigar, and says, no, that's what I call a close encounter.
Bam!
Fucking amazing. Absolute schlock, but I love it. This is
perfection of the cheesy variety.
There's a big argument on Air Force One.
Oh yeah, after they just casually mention, the Vice President and the entire cabinet are dead.
Oh, well.
Do you want to just round up a group of ragtag mates and their dad to come with you instead on all of your important missions, Mr. President? Yes, I'd like that a lot.
Jeff's dad, he's slagging off all the White House people. He's getting all het up. There's some chat about Area 51. Very topical.
Oh, or is there an Area 51 even to begin with?
Well, the president says there's no Area 51, there's no spaceship that we recovered, and his little mate, his little White House assistant man, well, he's probably higher ranking than that.
He's a Secretary of Defense. How dare you?
Little White House assistant man says, Mr. President, that's not entirely accurate. And we get Jeff Goldblum going, hold on, which part? Great Jeff line there. Charming. I like it.
I love that.
I can't do a good Jeff Goldblum impression, but I really wish I could, because he does have a good tone of voice.
Well, Sam, the thing about doing a Jeff Goldblum impression is that all you have to do is actually take several short pauses and really change the speed at which you're talking, and you can use those pauses to decide what you are actually going to say.
Oh, okay. Can you give it a go then? See if you can.
Okay, I have a lot of time for Will Smith in the desert with a big dirty cigar in his mouth going, barbecue, motherfucking alien. I love it. It's so good.
I love him kicking the knocked out alien just because he's angry that he's got to drag a dead corpse. Well, it's not dead. A knocked out corpse across the desert. That's
He only
great.
sparked him out, like he didn't, he didn't slit his throat or anything like that. That would have been pretty scary if you're like, welcome to Earth. He was smart enough to capture one alive.
Yeah, bunch of motorhomes speeding their way towards Will in the desert.
America's not that big, is it? Because a lot of like, oh sure, it's a small world. Were you driving out this way into the 1,000-mile long Nevada desert, were you?
And they're all heading to Area 51, right? Everyone's going that way.
Are they? Yes, they are. It exists.
Yep.
This is basically like a best case scenario of what is going to happen when Area 51 goes down. The raid, right?
Yeah.
Loads of people show up and it's like, okay, Jane from Firefly is going to let us in and it's all right, you know?
Yeah, and we'll get Dr. Oaken, who's fresh from playing guitar in Dinosaur Jr. He's here to show the president
About why the Earth is actually flat, like, by the look of
yeah,
them.
well, that first, and then secondly, here's the UFO that we found back in the 60s.
Yeah, Sam, all I want to know is can they be killed?
Yeah, Kevin, they're just as frail as we are.
Mate, don't be talking down the human race. We're strong, virile.
But you got to get through their advanced technology, you know? They've got
that's
ESP.
true. They got ESP and biomechanical suits.
Yeah.
Will Smith arrives and he's like, have you got your clearance? He's like, my goddamn clearance, this fucking alien covered in possibly coming, motherfucker. And I love it. It's great.
We find out we've only got 36 hours until every major city in the world is destroyed. So, bit of a time pressure on these guys here.
And I was looking at him going, well, you only have an hour of the movie left as well now, lad. So there's more than one way that you've got time pressure now.
The president wants to see the alien. He wants to go and have a look. Yeah.
So we get Alien Autopsy starring Ant and Dec.
We should do that at some point.
Nope.
No?
You want to do like the most like you want to do these horrible fucking English movies like that.
Yes.
Sex Lives of the Potato
Yes.
Man. I want nothing to do with this.
I want to do these rubbish English movies. All right. So they're cutting open the alien. It's a lot like the film Alien.
Or I assume like the movie Alien Autopsy starring Ant and Dec. I have not seen it.
And it's a lot like The Thing as well.
Oh, yes.
Very like The Thing.
Much less tasty looking than The Thing. This looked like kind of like poached meats that had like a lot of like veins and stuff for them. It didn't look good. This looks like before they make hot dogs what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like layers of white connective tissue and like blue veiny bits. Put into a Frankfurter, please. Thank you.
The good thing about hot dogs is they don't fucking give you a massive jump scare when you try and cut them open, you know?
You know what the best thing about hot dogs is, Sam? I keep getting older, they keep staying the same age.
The jump scare genuinely shat me up, as it were.
Oh, really? When he was alive and then his tentacles go...
There's just a note where they're like starting to cut it open and then it kind of flops open really loudly and there's a big kind of or stab in the score, like, and I'm like, oh shit, it really got me.
Fair fucks to them for really trying hard not to do the stereotypical little green men or, you know, the little big head grey aliens from X-Files or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they were trying here with the whole little guys in a suit with the telepathy and the weird silver eyes.
They're kind of weird looking. They can do telepathic brain shit because they hurt the doctor, the weird, you know, long hair doctor man.
I don't know if you remember, but there was obviously a theory that the Independence Day, you know, the hype train for that would lead to a lot of children wanting to buy a lot of toys. But I think from the years of 1996 to 2000, every Poundland in Ireland had at least 26 different colours of the alien from Independence Day on sale. I had like 2 or 3 of them. Like I had like a white one and a blue one for £1, and you could open them up and you had a little squidgy guy inside. They were cracking.
No, I don't remember those. I remember the weird kind of alien eggs that you could buy, the generic alien egg.
Ah, yes.
That would have a squishy alien in the middle.
I would go in every week hoping that this would be the week that they put Jeff Goldblum in there, but alas not.
This whole bit where they're cutting him open and there's like legs everywhere and loads of people presumably killed, it is just like The Thing and like Alien.
And Spider-Man 2 as well.
This is very much an homage to some of those films, I think. Or,
I think so.
Or a rip-off. I don't know.
I mean, if you're homaging Star Wars as much as you are, then what is it if not to homage a few others along the way?
Yeah, just chuck in all the good stuff from films you've watched. That's the best way to do it.
The alien uses the dead doctor to talk to them, and he's like, what do you want? And he's like, fuck off. You know, it's basically like talking with a troll. He's all lowercase. He's a total dickhead. He's got a dog as an avatar. Don't engage with him.
He's like a Bond villain. He's like, I expect you to die. That's what I want.
And then they're like, is this glass bulletproof? And he's like, no, sir, Mr. President, I do not believe it is. He's like, well, why don't you shoot that motherfucking piece of shit? Like, tell him how we do it Earth style. Like,
the president, he gets weird head stuff from the alien, and the alien just tells him in his head, through ESP, all of his plans.
that is really handy.
What the that's
I
great.
think he was bragging, Sam. He was like, look what we're going to do. And this is all of our plans.
Your shit. But then he got shot to pieces.
And you know what I love? This is how wholesome movies were in 1996. And I think I think Hollywood is always meant to try and hold up a mirror to society. And that's kind of part of its job and all that. And I think, you look back at the mid-90s and it does seem like kind of an oddly misplaced optimistic time. And where they're like, earlier they're talking about like, oh, they're kind of like us because they're frail and they use oxygen and stuff. And then it's like, my God, they go from place to place using every natural resource and they use it up and now they're going to come and kill us and use our natural resources. And no one is like, oh, like us. Like, no one's like, wow, that is completely against everything humanity stands for. Even though they're just like us, it happened like 4 minutes beforehand.
Kevin, what's the president's solution to this?
Nuke the whales.
Let's nuke the bastards.
I gotta nuke something.
Oh, this is so 1990s action film. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, good-natured humans. Let's use our nuclear weapons on these bastards.
Nuke them. Come on. Big explosion time.
Will jacks a bird to find his family.
I wrote down Will commandeers a helicopter. So it just gives you a little background as to the difference between us and kind of the dynamic that makes Cinema Swirl work.
Yeah, I'm all about jacking birds. Don't use that clip out of context, all right? Because that makes me seem like I've got all sorts of... Yeah, don't, no.
And I'm all about commandeering helicopters. And welcome to Cinema Swirl.
Arrest him, officer. He's going to commandeer a helicopter. I was merely jacking this bird. Nothing untoward about that.
The nuke is launched because the president says deploy. What are they nuking at this point? One of the big...
They're nuking the big ship that's hovering over the remnants of Los Angeles, I believe. And the nuke does nothing.
I don't get this bit because they're like, oh, we got the bastards. Hold on, let's wait till we get visual confirmation. We eventually get visual confirmation. Yeah, mate, we missed. But the target remains.
Early on, they were like, wow, everything we hit them with, they've got this force field that reflects everything. But then they're like, let's use a nuclear bomb. And they just assume that, like, well, that's nuke is the last level mission. We will win.
Didn't work.
Obviously, it didn't work.
Now, Kevin, we haven't really talked about Will Smith's girlfriend going around in an RV picking up people like the First Lady of America.
What, you mean the vines that we cut to every 2 seconds? Like, she's she's barely
very short
here.
scenes.
Very, very short. And also to the point, it's so short that when it's like, the president's wife is dying, like, wait, that's her. Okay, all right.
We do get a nice reunion between Will Smith and his girlfriend, and he does that cool, like, you're late. Oh, I'd like to make an entrance. That's good. But then we get, the First Lady's dying.
And then he's like, wait a minute, though, where's Boomer? Is he all right? Like, And then the president's like, shut up about that. Where's Boomer? Is he all right? Like,
President's sad, the music's sad.
Oh.
He explains it to his daughter. His daughter holds his hand and said, Mommy's sleeping now.
And Jeff Goldblum as well. He's having his night of the darkest hour. He has a drunken environmental tirade where he's like, yeah, maybe I should just not recycle. But like, no, Jeff, the world needs quirky quacks like you.
It's the 4th of July, by the way. USA. Jeff's getting into the spirit of things by just having a big piss up. And good on him, I say.
And very handily, after he has a little bit of a come to Jesus moment with his dad, but his dad is Jewish and so is he, so it's not like, but he has a eureka moment where his dad mentions offhandedly like a cold or a virus when he's telling about how when he lost his faith when his wife died, etc. And then Jeff Goldblum's like, I've got an idea. What's that? I've given it a cold.
I'm going to give the aliens a nasty
I'm sorry,
cold.
Mr. Scientist. Could you dumb it down a little bit, please? We're not all PhD professors in rocketology over here.
Going to give him a head cold, mate. His plan is to plant a virus into the mothership, but they'd have to fly the UFO that they found in the 60s into the mothership, dock it there, and surely no man is qualified to operate a UFO from the 60s.
Well, this is a story. Sit right down on how this movie got turned upside down. If you'd like to take a minute and sit right there, I'll tell you how Will Smith flew higher than air.
You know what, Kevin? I've been willing to suspend my disbelief for a lot. I don't think Will Smith, a pilot of fighter planes,
who's never been in space,
he's fought aliens, but he's not been in space. I don't think you could go into a UFO and just know what he's doing, but he has so much confidence that you would believe him, wouldn't you?
I love it. Do you hear what his actual reasoning and his rationale is?
I've flown near some of them.
Yeah, I'm familiar with their manoeuvres. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You fought them once and you crashed.
So they turned out Morse code, which seems quite quaint to organise a counter-offensive.
Because they can't use the satellites, obviously, so Morse code is saving the day, and they're communicating. The thing about this is, and it's something that I think if the movie was made now, you probably would have a lot more of, which is they keep alluding to and saying, like, oh, Russia and China and Japan and Europe and Middle East, they're all working on this together. You would totally have, like, a Middle Eastern hero, a Russian hero. You'd have all these people, but everyone in the movie is from America, and you just assume it's going well over there in other countries.
I think there's like a British bit where like, the Americans are launching an offensive on the UFO. That goes all right.
By Jove. So, Pullman randomly here, I didn't know if this was just me or this Secretary of Defense, who, you know, now he pushes a few bits in here. Like, at one point he's like, kind of, hey, you should drop the nuke, or, you know, we should send in more fighter jets. But then he's like, grabs him, he's like, let me tell you, you sniveling son of a bitch, your ass is fired. I'm not listening to you anymore. And he's like, you can't do that. Now, he was not really a villain, just a dissenting voice, right?
Yeah, he's not done enough wrong to justify that kind of thing. This is the sort of thing that needs to get brought up in like a half-year review, maybe.
Yeah.
And actioned over a longer period of time, not just done there and then.
Give him new targets in his performance review. Don't just fire him outright, like.
But I guess extenuating circumstances, you know, it's a bit of a difficult time.
Well, they did say at one point, they kind of go, oh, the aliens had hidden a code in our satellite system. And I'm like, were they going to reveal that the Secretary of Defense was like, that's right, it was me, Mr. Pullman?
Now, all the countries around the world get this message, but because they tried to attack the aliens the first time, they've run out of fighter pilots.
But not fighter planes, apparently.
So they're just going around being like, can anyone fly a plane? And luckily, Randy Quaid steps up.
They're like, you were in the movie earlier, do you want to fly a plane? He's like, yes, absolutely.
Ever since I was kidnapped by aliens, I've been dying for some payback. So that's exciting.
Will puts a ring on it.
Oh, yeah, he gets married. Flying into an alien spaceship to infect the mothership with a computer virus. That's what you need to do before you do that.
Some bachelor party that's going to be, am I right?
Yeah.
Now, I bet Will was kicking himself when he went on and got married like a big Aegis when the best speech in the history of film was happening.
Oh, the big speech.
Oh, I love that speech.
It is a good speech.
It's so good.
We will not go quietly into the night. I've had these aliens I'm not going to let them win. They're getting right on my nerves.
We will not go quietly into the night. Sure, why would we be taking the car out now in that hour of the evening? Would you not wait for the bit of day and make a go of it?
And it is Independence Day, and we would like to be independent from them aliens. So let's celebrate our Independence Day.
And July 4th will no longer be known as an American holiday. And I'm like, okay, my ears are pricking up there. More bank holidays, you say? Yeah?
Yeah. You know what? The president in this is proper, pure presidential. You know, this is what you want. That's
basically what every presidential candidate before the last one was trying to aspire towards, was that level of decorum, down-to-earthness. You know, he's everything. You never find out if he's Democrat or Republican, but he's everything for all people because he's compassionate, but he's also like, let's nuke him. Like he's a fighter pilot as well, but he's all, you know.
He doesn't just give a motivational speech. He then gets in one of the planes to attack the aliens. The president is doing that.
Baby's gonna fly a big bird.
Love that. Great stuff. he gets my vote all day long.
Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith get a little pep talk. Jeff Goldblum gets sick bags from his dad. The one bit I thought was really weird, I mean, I like that they had a little kind of subplot about the dad finding his faith again and all that.
Yeah.
But like when he gives him the sick bags, like, you never know, you might need these. And then he gives him the Torah and a kippah, and he's like, he hands them over. And when he hands it over, it does this like magical like like it's somehow like, just in case you need to cast a spell or something like, it was like that little musical sting ruined that moment for me, because he's like, you might need this. And it was a lovely little moment there. And then there they are with their cigars, losers.
You know what? I like Jeff Goldblum. I like Will Smith. I like both of their characters. I don't feel like they have all too much in terms of chemistry on screen
wash your
together.
mouth out, Sam. Why are you saying that?
Do you think they do?
I think when you reach a level of star power, merely being there with anyone of an equivalent star power,
I suppose.
I think you are going to have what appears to be chemistry, where the reality is you're just picking your jaw up off the floor because Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith are flying a spaceship.
Yep, they go into the big bit, don't they? The big mothership.
They're flying, and obviously Will Smith, he's always wanted to fly in space. He said from the start of the movie that was always a big ambition of his, and he's flying off there and he zips it along, and Jeff Goldblum's like, whoa, hold on a minute. He's like, phew! And he says, I got to get me one of these, so I do. But I think a better, more modern take would have been, this bird is whacked, baby. Of course, Jeff C-3PO Bloom is all anxious about, we can't go into space. Master Smith, what are you doing? Oh, thank the maker, I have my cigar.
There is a fun little bit where they try and take off and they bump into the wall and then they have to do it again, and there's kind of, they say oops.
And like Lando Calrissian's like, don't worry, Will, she won't get a scratch. And then after that he's like, whoa, he's going to have some explaining to do to Chewie later.
And the mothership is all spooky and green because it's aliens. So
it's misty, murky, and possibly damp in there. Sam, I imagine it smells foul.
Oh, yeah. Alien stuff. Ugh, yuck.
I don't want to see where they make the hot dogs. Get out of there.
No, yucky. No,
okay,
thank you.
We're in. Jack in the drive.
Beep, boop, 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 beep, 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 boop. While all this is going on, the president shoots little alien ship downstairs.
Oh, Sam, I love that the president of the United States is front and center as well.
Taking the big shot.
He is right there, like, my God, Admiral Akbar at least sat in the chair,
Yeah, it bounces off, but he takes another shot and it hits, which means they have disabled the force field.
Yeah, they're like, they've disabled it. It's not working though. Oh, but now it is. So you had to arrange 20 seconds of suspense there. I really thought that things weren't going to work out. Like,
so everyone starts firing at Will. Not Will Smith.
Poor Al Will. He sacrificed himself. Be nice.
Jeff's dad is praying. I think that the Secretary of Defense or something comes over to join in with the prayer, doesn't he? Someone comes in. I think
some guy comes over and he's like, but I'm not even Jewish. And he's like, sit down, sure, it doesn't matter.
Nobody's perfect. Little goof for you.
Very good.
But Kevin, they're running out of missiles.
They're not doing enough damage is pretty much the issue that we're having here.
They are one missile down. They're exactly one missile down.
The big laser starts charging up and
shit.
Russ is like, I've got a missile, don't worry. Missile doesn't work. And then he says, you know what? In the words of my generation, up yours. Yes.
Try to put us down,
talking about up yours generation. Now, I try as you might, you're baby boomers. You're not the up yours generation. If anything, we're the up yours generation. So eat it, old man. Up yours.
I really liked the "Hello, boys, I'm back." That's great to say to aliens.
I love when he dies. Everyone's like, "Yay!" And there's a big explosion. And they go to the kids are like standing there going, "Oh, my dad is dead." They're like, "Yay!" And your dad's a hero, though. And they're like, "Yeah." Guess so.
Yeah, he is. And the kid smiles. The kid's like, yeah, I'm proud of my dad. Yeah, everything's
I'm glad
right.
my dad died.
Now, that spaceship has blown up. That's the one that was down on Earth. But Will and Jeff are still inside, upstairs, in the big mothership alien ship.
Yeah, they're fucked, basically, because they can't get out, and they're getting evil eyes from the evil alien inside. And their response to this crisis, Sam, is to stank out their little craft with dirty cigar smoke.
So they load Jolly Roger and execute Jolly Roger. Now, for a minute, you might think, have you switched to watching a pirate film? No, that's the code name for the big old nuke.
Now, I thought it was because he had obviously uploading a virus and he had Avast to protect himself, and that was kind of like pirate-y themed. I like that they put a special skull gif on it as well.
Yeah, that's nice. I suppose, yeah, all of this would kind of be for nothing if the aliens had any kind of antivirus software.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're unprotected, like, you know.
They just ran out the free trial and then thought, I'll probably be all right. They get their comeuppance for that.
It's very, very funny what happens here, because they think they're just going to shoot off the missile and kill everyone, and that's that. But they do manage to escape and get latched off, so they start zipping away. And when they shoot that missile as well, the alien, he doesn't say, oh shit, but he gives you a look as if to say...
It's a no shit look, yeah.
That's a no... absolutely it is.
Yeah, and Will has to fly out. The aliens are chasing them inside the mothership, and they go through a tiny little dinky hole just as it's closing.
Oh, it really was ruined, this final chase scene, because all the ships were the same. I was like, who's chasing who? Or why are they not shooting? Like,
wait, is that Will?
Ship. Yeah. You should have thought that one through. No one's going to
painted it red.
Well, if you did, people would have bought more toys of it, and then we would have had the stocking crisis that we did in Poundland.
And the nuke blows up. Mothership's gone.
Geez, we really punched above our weight here, Earth, didn't we? Like, you know, they're completely outmatched, just outgunned us, and just with one idea, straight away we win.
It's phenomenal. Everyone's celebrating. All of the explosions look like fireworks at the end. It's Independence Day. Yay! USA, USA, we did it.
I love that they're like, look, I promised you fireworks. And there's all these like big meteors that are falling to Earth and bits of shrapnel. And everyone's like, yay!
Yay,
like,
debris.
Fall on flaming debris. That's my favourite kind. And then, right, as soon as they're like, you know, everyone's cheering, and then it goes... It's so like Star Wars. And then Joe was like, oh, hang on a second, maybe it's John Williams who did this score, and that is like why they have done such a similar theme, thinking, you know what, you can draw from your own font there. No, some other guy, he just thought he loved Star Wars as much as the makers of this movie did, I guess.
Kevin, I absolutely loved that. That was great. It didn't feel like it took 2.5 hours or whatever it was.
It flew by, did it?
It flew by because, you know what? I was having fun, and time was flying, and aliens were flying, and Will Smith was flying an alien spaceship.
Did it take your mind off the heat? Because that's a pretty good thing. If a movie can do that, that's pretty impressive.
I genuinely think it did.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't feel hot while watching it.
That's
amazing. I feel hot now while talking about it.
Well, you're hot and bothered now, Sam. That's the problem.
All this hot air coming out of my mouth. But... and these hot takes about Jeff Goldblum, who actually I've come around to.
Are you pro Goldblum then? Pro-glum.
If I'm still on the fence, I'm facing towards problem now. Now I don't have a problem. I'm facing towards pro-Goldblum problem. Yeah.
So I would say with you, Sam, your remedy for that is, now that you've seen the best of Jeff Goldblum in many respects, sure, I think you owe it to yourself to try and re-engage with some of those memes, those Twitters and etc., and see if, you know, it is your flavour. See if you're going to get yourself an enamel pin or a giant statuette of Jeff Goldblum lying down.
I think what you need to do is just show me a really good Ed Sheeran film as well, and then maybe I'll come around to it. Maybe we could watch Yesterday.
Oh, very true. Very true. He gives a great performance, Sam.
What if he said, "Hey, dude"? Oh, great stuff, Ed.
Great stuff. Did he come up with that one himself, I wonder?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Now, Sam, obviously, we're going to get into your rating, but before we do that, we do need to perhaps preempt our next episode and explain our next episode. So, Sam, what is our next episode going to be? There's a couple of bits of business with regards to this episode. It's a multifaceted big one.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to come down from the excitement of watching this film so quickly, but we're because I really loved it. I can't overstate that enough. This is a hoot and holler. Had a great time. We're going to be watching Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
Yes!
But we will also be watching the extended cut of it.
Which will have loads of bits you won't even understand.
Yeah, we're going to watch the longest one. We're going to watch it in the same room together.
Yes, Sam's coming for a visit. So we're going to be classic Swirl with an entire day taken up probably from watching a very long movie and dealing with not just it being our 50th episode, but
Whoa.
also our 5-year anniversary.
It's all coming together.
And you couldn't be happier, Sam, huh?
It's going to be a big celebration for you, and I will also be there as well, participating. So I can't wait. Yeah, that's what our next episode is going to be.
So it has been 5 years then, and that's going to be huge. And what we'd like to do is take a little bit of time at the start of the episode to maybe go and reflect on some bits and bobs. So what I would suggest is, if you have enjoyed Cinema Swirl, or if you've listened for any length of time, or have nipped in and enjoyed any of the episodes, or had good times at all, or positive experiences, would you not send us an old bit of an email to cinemaswirl@gmail.com?
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
And let us know your favourite episodes, your favourite moments, etc. Sam and I both have the collective memory of a sieve, and we've probably forgotten a lot of the episodes and moments, etc. We have received some emails already from people who've given us like big stats and stuff like that, people who've appeared in movies and Sam's Star Wipe ratings and stuff like that. So if you've got anything like that you want to contribute, we would love to hear from you. It's going to be a celebratory swirl. And what better way to celebrate by watching a movie that Sam swore that he would never watch.
Yeah.
And why is it, Sam, that we're watching this one?
Because of our backers over on Patreon. It was one of our stretch goals was, you know what, if we get this much, I'll do it and I'll watch the extended cut. And I'll tell you what, Kevin, I didn't think we'd get there as quickly as we did.
No, that was a real great motivator. So we need to think of another stretch goal now, maybe to do some more movies of significant note. Because think about it, now that we're going to be finishing up our Lord of the Rings trilogy, and we finished the Star Wars original trilogy, it feels like we need some big franchises to fill the boots. Because usually we did our 10 or 20, our big episodes have usually been these big franchises. So maybe it's something to think about. If you have any thoughts, we'd love to hear. But enough meandering and talking about the next episode. Sam, your final thoughts on Independence Day. You had a good time. Was there anything that maybe took away from your enjoyment at all?
Honestly, not really. No. I mean, this film is very silly, very schlocky. Schlock was a word that was used a lot in the comments of the vote. It's like just classic Hollywood schlock.
Because obviously we kept saying it's a lot like Star Wars, but I wouldn't say Star Wars is schlocky, though, would you?
No, but this was... it definitely didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
A lot of fun was to be had. This was big, broad, enjoyable, kind of adventure action movie. And it delivered on pretty much every front of that. Will Smith, very charismatic lead. It's kind of like a co-lead with Jeff, I would say.
I mean, thinking of Will Smith in here, like, this is just, like, straight away. He doesn't seem like he's new to this at all. It feels like he was fucking made for this.
Born for this kind of thing. This is a proper breakout performance, and the result of that is what we've seen throughout the rest of his career over the last more than 20 years. Yeah, he's become a huge star.
He has become a huge star, and of course, by being a huge star, that means that not only has he done lots of other big movies, many of which have been critically acclaimed, but he's also done a lot of incredibly high-profile, big-budget mega flops. And if you head over to patreon.com/cinemaswirl, we will have a vote up for the adjacent Will Smith vote, where there will be 3 absolute dirty stinkers where you'll be able to vote on those and decide what one we're going to be doing. I'm very excited for that.
You know, I loved his performance. I have come around to Jeff Goldblum. The Bill Pullman is a revelation for me. I'm not too familiar with him.
He's great. Bill Pullman, he's the entry-level Michael Douglas. He's very, very affordable. I like that.
He was a wonderfully presidential president. I mean, this film is not the best film ever made, but it's not trying to be. It's just trying to be a real good fucking blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it is such a blockbuster of a movie.
You could watch this with like pizza, beers and chats and like not miss anything, you know? And we said that when Mary Poppins, where you could kind of like fall asleep and wake up at any point and be like, oh, they're doing this now, cool. I could probably go for another tight 20 later on. And this is one of those movies as well.
And it's like kind of dumbed down and you don't really need to understand what's going on. And I love that. I love that some of the things don't make any sense, but they don't have to. It's just like, this is what's happening and we don't need some big complicated justification. It's just because it's fun and it progresses the movie and it keeps things going. I enjoy that so much.
I think this is the funnest, dumbest movie not starring Arnold Schwarzenegger that we have done on Cinema Swirl.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a blast. I'm trying to think of things that take away from it. I'm coming up short a little bit, other than, like, it's not...
I mean, you've got some good female characters in there, you know, brief as some of their appearances may be, you know, but you do have, you know, a couple, which is nice, not very often seen in movies from the mid-90s.
I mean, the way it's made, the effects were very good, the miniatures and stuff like that, but it is all a bit like paint by numbers. In like, this is what a big Hollywood blockbuster should look like. We're gonna copy off all the other ones and do it again and have a blast doing it.
Visually, though, it aged a lot better than I thought, because I watched Apollo 13 again recently, and Jesus Christ, all of it is CG, all like the spatial stuff, and I was like, oh my god, it actually like completely ripped out my emotional investment quite early on. I got back into it, like, but it had aged so badly. And this, on the other hand, even though they are dabbling in some of the computer arts with the use of miniatures and that old classic Hollywood style, it looks beautiful still. There's maybe one or two shots where you can go, well, that's a Nintendo 64 bird if I've ever seen one. That's a chopper, baby, by the way. So yeah, other than that, I think it's held up really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think about this and I'm thinking, like, oh, well, it's not, you know, perfect movie. But I'm like, why is it not a perfect movie? I had such fun watching this.
Yeah.
It didn't feel long. I had a great time. I enjoyed all of the cast and characters.
Were you annoyed you didn't see it as a kid? Because can you imagine seeing something like this as a kid where
I would have loved it.
It's just naughty enough where, you know, you kind of feel like, oh, I shouldn't be seeing this. But it is actually really wholesome, and it's totally grand for I remember seeing this as a kid in the cinema and thinking it was such a my mind was blown. But it was obviously before I'd seen Star Wars as well. So I think maybe when Star Wars came along, this just got shoved to the back of my memories, and I didn't give it as much love as I should have.
I think I'm trying to put too much pressure on this to be like a prestige picture.
But it's not like trying to be, is it?
An Oscar? No, it's not. And it's trying to be a blockbuster, and it fucking nails it, because Will Smith punches an alien in the face and says, "Welcome to Earth," and then smokes a cigar. So, I tell you what, Kevin, I tell you for what.
I'll tell you something for nothing now.
I'm giving Independence Day 5 bloody star wipes.
Bloody hell! You've heard it here first.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin, it was edited by me, Sam, and the music was also by me. If you'd like to support the show directly, you can do so over at patreon.com/cinemaswirl. Episode votes are on Facebook over at facebook.com/cinemaswirl. We're on Twitter, that's @cinemaswirl. And if you have something for the mailbag, send it on over to cinemaswirl@gmail.com, that's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please do recommend it to anyone else you think will enjoy it too. And we'll see you next time on Cinema Swirl. Right, bye.